Thank you. First of all, let me thank MEC for giving me the opportunity to talk about something that I think is going to change Mississippi and be a huge impact. But before I do that, let me talk about our cultural heritage just for a moment. I talked to MEC's board of directors yesterday and shared with them a little history of what has been taking place, and thankfully Blake has joined in, and the Lieutenant Governor and Governor Barb and so many other people. But several years ago I co-chaired the fundraising event for the B.B. King Museum, and I had no idea that that institution and that community would change Mississippi. Congressman Thompson mentioned to you something I think is astonishing, and that is that they had 30,000 visitors there in their first year of operation. But the most astonishing thing is that half of them came from outside the United States. I mean, that sends a message to us that there's an opportunity that we need to take advantage of. And Carl Randall, I saw him walk in, who's chairman of that board. But the other interesting thing about it is that if you go to Indianola and try to find some live music, you won't find it. They got a Comfort Inn there, but I assure you that they need more than that. And we need to do something about it. Our cultural heritage and the fact that Mississippi is the birthplace of America's music is something that we need to take advantage of. I can assure you that Governor Barb has gotten the message, and people over at the Department of Tourism. If you think about it just for a moment, the little town of Bronson, Missouri, their budget for tourism is twice that of the state of Mississippi. And I can assure you they're not the birthplace of America's music.
We have an unbelievable opportunity in Mississippi, but only if we're willing to take the giant steps. About a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough to be at a meeting, and Delbert Hoseman was there. And I've often wondered how Branson, Missouri was able to accomplish so much with so little. I mean, Branson doesn't have gaming. Branson doesn't have a musical heritage, or at least it didn't have. Branson didn't even have an airport until last year. And now they have all the above, and it's become an international destination. We can have that. I was actually in this building several years ago, and I heard the governor say, well, you know, we've got gaming, we've got musical heritage, we've got the coast, we've got all those things, but for reasons unknown, we Mississippians have never been able to lace it all together into something that we can be proud of. Now that, thank God, has started, because a lot of folks, some of them sitting in this room, I see my friend Bill Luckett back there with the Blues Club. He's done a wonderful thing, and there's other things going on all over the state. And by the way, folks, I'm a blues lover from way back. My dad was a music dealer, and one of my jobs, other than taking out the trash, was I was the record buyer. And I had an appreciation for blues even back then. By the way, back then, a lot of times it wasn't called blues, it was called race music. But I loved it, and I still do. The B.B. King Museum, I actually gave up a few of my old B.B. King 78s when he was on the RPM record. And that's before he came B.B. Back then, he was Blues Boy. But it was a pleasure for people to be involved in that.
It transcends throughout this entire state. But it also transcends beyond just tourism. It talks to the creative spirit that's in the state of Mississippi. These musicians, these people, are part of what's in our genetic makeup, this creative spirit in our state. And this creative spirit is the same one that helps us to have these world-renowned storytellers. I mean, Faulkner, Welty, Grisham. These stories that are told from our state all over are part of this creative economy that we have. These stories are oftentimes turned into movies, and a film industry that we're trying to build on and build capacity in our state. But the same creative spirit even goes beyond that. And I think about it and think about, you know, how this culture that grew up by the blues, the music, whatever, but this creative spirit are the same ones that make people like Hartley Peavy, that this creative entrepreneur that goes out and has a passion for music, and it turns into thousands of jobs and millions of dollars of investment in our state. Fred Carl, Jim Barksdale, all these people have this creative genetic makeup that come out of our state. So whether it's music, storytelling, filmmaking, making a product, it comes from this creative spirit.